All right, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host, Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with some Bellator news. So Bellator has announced both Bellator, 294 and 295. They got two events in 2 days going down in Hawaii on April 21st for 294 and April 22nd for Bellator 295. So 2 days, two Bellator events, and best of all, we've got 4 ladies bouts spread out between the two events. So let's not waste any time. Let's get down into it. So first up, we've got Bellator 294 on Friday, April 21st. It's going to be headlined by a Flyweight championship between the champ Liz Carmouche and Deanna Bennett. This is a rematch. They actually fought once before in Bellator with Carmouche winning, I believe she won via submission. We'll check that in a second here. But first, we've got a women's featherweight bout. So Sara McMann will be making her Bellator debut and her featherweight debut when she takes on Arlene Blencowe. Now, Blencowe is currently number 2 in the Bellator women's featherweight division. McMann, of course, unranked, coming in off of free agency, entered free agency after finishing out her UFC contract and signed with Bellator. Fought her entire career as bantamweight. She's moving up to featherweight. Let's go ahead and look at the stats on this one. So Anger Fist coming in at 15 and 9. McMann coming in at 13 and 6. Now, Blencowe's coming in off of a loss in a title challenge to Chris Cyborg 9 months ago. Took Cyborg to decision. Before that, she had 2 straight wins over Diana Silva and then Pam Sorensen. Now, McMann is coming in off of a decision win over Carol Hosa when still in the UFC 10 months ago. For that, had a loss to Juliana Pena via rear naked choke 2 years ago. That was before she had her second kid. And then before that, she had a decision win over Lena Landsberg. Now, gotta be honest here, neither of these ladies are exactly spring chickens. But Blencowe's the younger one at 40 to 42 for McMann. Looks like they stand the same height at 5'6", 168 centimeters, with McMann having a slight reach advantage at 66 inches, 168 centimeters, to 64.5 inches, 164 centimeters. So McMann going straight into the deep end of the Bellator featherweight division, and I honestly pretty much expected no less. I figured they'd maybe give her like a tune-up fight first, and then they put her in against a contender, but I guess McMann didn't want to waste any time. And at 42 years old, I don't blame her. So with a win here, she could easily be next for a title shot. I like this matchup. I think McMann is definitely the better fighter on the ground. Stand up, I would say that Blencowe is the cleaner striker. McMann might have more power than Blencowe, because McMann has some underrated power in her punches. I think it's really going to go down to who can dictate their pace and their game in this fight. Interesting to note here with McMann moving up from bantamweight, there's a guy on the Sherdog forums. He used to post the stats where a bantamweight moving up to featherweight and fighting usually does very well against the career featherweights, and Blencowe's the career featherweight, and McMann's moving up to featherweight for the first time. So those stats definitely favor her as well. I don't have a pick for this one yet. I've got to think about this one some more. And then, of course, in the main event of this one, we have a rematch. This time the title's on the line. Liz Carmouche, the champ, taking on the number 4th ranked Deanna Bennett. I'm not too excited about this fight because, well, we've already seen it. So let's hurry up and get through the stats on this one. So Carmouche, Gorilla coming in at 18-7. Bennett coming in at 13-7-1. Now Carmouche is undefeated in Bellator. She most recently defended her title against Juliana Velasquez, the former champ, in a rematch. That was just a little over 2 months ago. Bennett is riding a 3-fight win streak currently. Defeated Alejandro Lara a year and 4 months ago, and then last year fought and defeated Justine Kish via decision twice. Let's see. Bennett's the younger fighter here, 38-39 for Carmouche. Carmouche slightly taller at 5 feet 6 inches, 168 centimeters to 5 feet 4 inches, 163 centimeters. Reach looks the same, 66 inches, 168 centimeters. So if you've watched the channel before, it's no secret. I'm not a Liz Carmouche fan. I think she's just boring, and her fights, even when she gets finishes in her fights, they're utterly forgettable. Now, her fight against Bennett was back at it was her first Bellator fight at Bellator 246 in September of 2020. Carmouche defeated Bennett via rear naked choke. Probably going to finish Bennett again this time, or maybe Bennett will survive to a decision. It really just depends on whether or not Bennett brain farts in this fight and how badly she does. I'm not excited for this bout. I'll watch it for posterity's sake, but there's no way I'm going to get hyped about this one. There's just no way. We've already seen the fight, and it's a Liz Carmouche fight, so what's to be excited about? Oh, by the way, the Carmouche, the 294 is free. I believe it's free event for the troops that Bellator likes to hold in Bellator. So tells you kind of like how much they like Liz Carmouche, that they're putting her in an event that they're literally giving away tickets for. And people are going to say, oh, but she's a veteran and it's for the veterans. The only way they're going to sell it's the only way you could sell a Liz Carmouche main event is to give those tickets away. Then the next day, on Saturday, we have Bellator 295. That's Saturday, April 22nd. Now, no ladies main event, but we do have two very good ladies fights, including Ilima-lei Macfarlane versus Akana Watanabe. But here's one I'm really interested in seeing. Veta Arteaga taking on rising prospect Sumiko Inaba. This should be good. Sumiko has been needing a test. If anything, I think she's been kind of like regressing as far as her schedule of opponents, whereas this is definitely a big leap forward. Now, we'll get to it in a second here. Let's look at the stats. So, Lady Samurai Inaba, coming in at 5-0. Arteaga coming in at 7-4. Now, Sumiko last fought 4 months, a little over 4 months ago at the time of this recording, defeated Nadine Mandio via decision. Arteaga is riding 2 straight wins into this, defeated Desiree Yanez just short of 2 years ago, and then 6 months ago defeated Vanessa Porto via guillotine choke submission. A little bit of an upset there, her beating Porto. Inaba is the younger fighter, 32-35 for Arteaga. They stand the same height, 5 feet 4 inches, 163 centimeters, and reach is identical as well at 64 inches, 163 centimeters. So their reach is identical to the height, and they're identical to each other. So as I was saying, this is a step up for Inaba. I mean, when she fought Nadine, her last fight, it was 2-5. Her opponent before that, Whitney Powell, was 3-4. Before that was Whitney Field, who was 2-0. So she's kind of like regressed as far as like skill level of her opponents. But this is a big step forward, and I'm glad to see this from Bellator. And I think this is going to be a fun one because both of these ladies are action fighters. Both of these ladies like to bring the violence. This is a Bellator flyweight fight to get excited for. This is going to be a good one, I believe. I'm hyped for this one. This is going to be good. And Inaba, I'm always hyped to watch her fights. I think she is a legit prospect. Almost kind of makes me wish she was somewhere other than Bellator, but she's in Bellator and she's fighting Arteaga, and I like this fight. So I'm excited for this one. Also on the card, of course, it's a YE fight. got to have Ilima-lei Macfarlane, and she's going to be taking on Akana Watanabe. Got two high-level grapplers in this bout. Could make for either a really good grappling heavy bout, or it could make for a really bad kickboxing bout. Who knows what we'll see. Looking at the stats here, the Eliminator coming in at 12-2. Watanabe coming in at 11-1 now. Let me see here. Macfarlane last fought defeating Bruna Ellen 6 months ago via decision. Before that, she had lost 2 straight to Juliana Velasquez and then Justine Kish. Watanabe coming in off of a win over Denise Kielholtz via submission 9 months ago. Before that, had a fateful run-in with Liz Carmouche. She got standing TKO'd there. Macfarlane's the younger fighter by a year, 33-34 for Watanabe. Watanabe is the taller fighter at 5'6", 167 centimeters to 5'4", 163 centimeters. The reach, however, is identical, 66 inches, 168 centimeters for both of them. So as I was saying, this could either be a really good grappling bout or a really bad kickboxing bout. Neither of them are exactly known for their striking. I mean, Watanabe has a TKO win over Shizuka Sugiyama a few years back in Ryzen that, honestly, I thought was an early stoppage. Macfarlane does have some wins via strikes, if memory serves me correctly. Let me check real quick. Her first fight, she won via strikes, and then she has that doctor stoppage from an elbow over Veta Arteaga. So, yeah, not really going to be seeing. Neither of them are very good striking, but they're very good on the ground. And hopefully they both decide to try to take it to the ground. And then that's where the fun starts. As long as they're on the feet, it's going to be not so great, we'll say. But as soon as this fight hits the ground, that's where the fun is really going to begin. So I'm looking forward to this one. I haven't looked forward to a Macfarlane fight in quite a while. Probably the Velasquez fight, because I figured Velasquez would win, and I was sick and tired of Macfarlane. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this one. So, the more, it's a change of pace. So that's it for Bellator 295. Now, that goes down Saturday, April 22nd, with 294 going down Friday, April 21st, the day before. So that's it for two events in 2 days with 4 ladies fights spread out between the 2 events for Bellator. I like it. When Bellator goes to Hawaii, they do try to deliver on fan-friendly fights, and I think that these should deliver. Aside from the Carmouche fight. The other 3 fights should definitely deliver, though. Anyway, that's all I have for this. Let me know your thoughts on the bouts in the comments down below. If you like the video, please give it a like. Hit that thumbs up button. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.